Archangel Michael says, "Today, there is a troubling decision made behind your back, and the anger of God is stirred, especially against your daughter. Listen carefully and do not scroll away from this divine warning, for you were meant to receive this exactly at this hour. This is not a coincidence but a divine intervention to protect your life, your blessings, and your calling. Heaven is urgently reaching for you, pleading for your heart to remain open, your spirit to stay humble, and your faith to grow unshaken in this crucial moment." Comment Amen if your heart knows this message is for you. Let heaven see your faith. Even as I speak now, your name is being spoken in the courts of heaven. There is a gathering of voices, and among them is the cry of God, strong and fierce, not in rage but in divine heartbreak, because your future has been tampered with. There has been a shocking betrayal, not by enemies, but by someone who was supposed to protect you. You did not see it, but God did. You did not know it, but I have watched it unfold with sorrow in my heart. Heaven cannot stay silent anymore. The spiritual realm has been shaken, and a barrier has been placed to delay what was meant to reach you sooner. This message is not here to scare you but to shield you before irreversible damage is done. Before I continue, if your spirit has been stirred already, please like this video to let heaven know you are listening and you are ready. This is your act of obedience and confirmation that you receive this divine alert. The Lord has seen tears you never spoke about. He has watched the silent pain you kept hidden from everyone, including the ones who should have protected you most. Yet even in that pain, God did not forget. He has not allowed your suffering to be wasted. It has been stored like oil, and now that oil is ready to pour as protection, healing, and divine reversal. But you must not ignore what I tell you now, because a critical turning point is here. A covenant was broken, not by you, but by someone who carried your trust in their hands and traded it for something temporary. This betrayal is more spiritual than you understand. It is not just about human misunderstanding or emotional pain. It is about a divine inheritance being blocked because of a deal made in the dark. Comment 1111 if you feel something changing in your heart as you hear these words. You must understand, beloved soul, that when the Lord gets angry, it is not out of cruelty but of deep holy love. God is not a God who delights in destruction, but He is a God of justice, and when something threatens His beloved, He responds with power. Today, His power is not coming to destroy, but to rebuild what the enemy tried to steal. Yet, there is one in your circle, and yes, it is your daughter, who has opened a spiritual door to interference, delay, and confusion. She has unknowingly aligned herself with voices that do not come from heaven. She has listened to flatterers and those who manipulate, and because of that, she has become a key piece in a spiritual battle against your future. This is not to shame her, but to call her back. Her soul is still reachable, and her future can still be redeemed. But the damage done in the spirit cannot be ignored. A contract has been written in words and spirit, and you were left out of it. This contract speaks over your destiny, trying to shift it without your permission. It carries decisions that can harm your blessings, your health, and even the divine order of your family. That is why God is stirred. Not to punish, but to correct. Not to destroy, but to restore the sacred order that was broken. God's voice is moving like thunder across the atmosphere of your home. You may have felt heaviness recently. You may have sensed confusion, tiredness, or sudden conflict out of nowhere. That was not your imagination. That was the ripple of the spiritual transaction that occurred in secret. But the Lord is stepping in now. He is calling forth angels to war on your behalf. He is sealing your name again in the scrolls of protection. He is breaking the cursed alignment that was made behind you. But He needs your agreement. He needs your surrender. He needs your focus. Comment 222 if you believe that God's correction is a sign of love and not punishment. You are not being warned today because God is done with you. No, beloved. You are being warned because you are chosen, and chosen people carry heavier battles. Your steps have always carried favor, and that is why the enemy used someone close to disrupt it. The devil does not waste time attacking those without purpose. He strikes those with anointing, those who are about to walk into a season of acceleration. And that is you. Your name is surrounded by divine timing, divine reward, and divine breakthrough. But that's also why your daughter was attacked spiritually. She didn't even know it. She was influenced. Her decisions were manipulated. And that's why this message is also her redemption if she hears it through your prayers. This is your moment to intercede. This is your moment to anoint your house with prayer. This is your moment to reclaim what was said without your knowing, what was signed without your consent, and what was planned to ruin your next season. You must rise in prayer, in purity, and in prophetic surrender. Speak life over your house. Speak life over your children. Speak God's power over your daughter's soul. Heaven is backing you with all of its angels, but you must rise and say, I reclaim my household in the name of the Most High. Do you know why everyone's whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual? A brainwave ritual leaked from the CIA is changing lives across the globe. Proven by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. Every hour since that deal was made in the spirit, there has been a slow drain on your energy, your peace, and your divine clarity. But the hand of God is now drawing a bloodline around you. The blood of the Lamb is not powerless. It is roaring with redemption today. It is roaring with rescue. The angels are not coming as silent comforters today. They are arriving as warriors with flaming swords to cut every chain that was connected to that betrayal. You are not weak. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are fiercely loved, protected, and restored by the Most Holy. Your name has been written into the very breath of heaven, and even now, as these words reach your eyes, the atmosphere around you is shifting. Something is breaking. A stronghold is trembling. A hidden scheme is falling apart. And in its place, divine order is rising like a flood. You will see favor return. You will feel your peace deepen. And your daughter, yes, she will be reached. But do not be silent. Pray boldly. Declare loudly. Walk uprightly. Do not let fear grip you anymore. You are a child of the living God, and your life is still aligned with miracles. Comment 333 to declare your faith in God's power to overturn every hidden plan against your life. The pain you felt recently, the unexplained resistance in your plans, and the sudden unrest in your spirit were not coincidences. They were the echoes of a spiritual deal attempting to rewrite your divine future. But you must remember this with every fiber of your being: no plan formed in darkness can withstand the fire of God's judgment. No agreement made in shadows can stand when the light of the Most High shines upon it. What was hidden is now being revealed. What was whispered in secret is now being shouted by heaven. What was meant to delay you has only stirred the divine clock to move faster in your favor. You are not defenseless. You are not alone. You are surrounded. Not by the lies that tried to frame your story, but by heavenly fire, by righteous angels, by the mercy of the God who calls you His own. And I, as His messenger, have been sent to tell you that the shaking is not a sign of loss but of alignment. The shaking is pulling down what was never meant to be built in the first place. The shaking is heaven making room for the true blessing that has been waiting to descend. God is not delaying anymore. He is not waiting for anyone's permission to protect His child. And you, dear soul, are the one He has chosen to rise from the wreckage of this betrayal. You are being lifted, not just emotionally, but spiritually, financially, mentally, and generationally. You are being set apart so the curse does not pass on. You are being called higher because what was done behind your back was trying to reach your bloodline. But the blood of Christ is greater. The blood of Christ has already covered what the enemy thought was left exposed. Comment 555 if you believe your household is being shielded right now by the divine power of God. Your daughter, the one the Lord is grieved for, is not beyond reach. But her path has been redirected. Her choices, though made in ignorance, have opened the door for confusion and rebellion. And yet, because of your faith, the Lord will not allow her to fall completely. Because of your prayers, she will be covered in the mercy that you are standing under right now. This is not her end. This is her calling back. This is your chance to intercede, not through fear, but through fire, the holy fire of a parent's prayer, soaked in faith and anointed by heaven's authority. There is a calling upon your family. That is why the battle has been so intense. That is why the enemy tried to sever the ties between trust, between blessing, between unity. But heaven is restoring everything. Heaven is bringing back what was stolen. And heaven is silencing the voices that tried to mislead your daughter into thinking she could decide her own path without divine covering. The mercy of God is greater than her mistake. The plans of God are deeper than her confusion. And your obedience today will be the seed of her redemption tomorrow. You must rise with your voice. Speak words of light. Speak protection, not just in prayer, but in every room she walks through. Speak identity over her, remind her spirit who she is. She may not listen with her ears yet, but her soul will hear it. And heaven will respond. You are not too late. You are right on time. This message reached you because heaven still believes in your family's purpose. It's not over. The divine plan has not been erased. It is being rewritten, redirected, and reinforced. And what of the deal made behind your back? It is already falling apart. You may not see it immediately in the physical, but in the spiritual, it is crumbling like dust. The words spoken against you are returning to their sender. The agreements made to restrict you are being nullified by the power of the blood. The people involved may continue in blindness, but you will rise in sight. You will walk in wisdom. You will not step into the traps laid out for you. The Lord is lighting every path in front of you. He is exposing every hidden pit. And He is healing every wound caused by those who were supposed to protect your peace. Comment 777 if you believe God is sending divine justice into your life right now. This is not just the breaking of a curse. This is the beginning of a promise. The Lord is restoring what was buried. Your inheritance is spiritual and generational. You are carrying more than your own breakthrough. You are carrying a mantle of healing, of restoration, of reformation for your entire bloodline. Why is the government hiding this 7-second brain ritual from the public? A leaked CIA document just exposed a brain technique so powerful, it's helping people cancel debt and call in wealth within days. Validated by 4 top neuroscience labs, this method is changing everything. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. That is why this betrayal could not be allowed to succeed. That is why this warning came now. That is why your tears have reached heaven's courtroom. Because you are not ordinary. Your name carries favor. Your hands carry blessing. Your voice carries power. Your obedience carries authority. There is no power greater than the Lord your God. His presence is in your home now, as you read this, shifting what the enemy hoped to destroy. His angels are standing by your doorway, guarding what belongs to you. The oil of heaven is being poured again over your mind, your finances, your relationships. You will walk differently now. You will feel lighter, not because the battle has disappeared, but because the Lord is now carrying it for you. You were never meant to carry it alone. That weight is being lifted. That burden is being broken. Your daughter's path will shift. Your future will stabilize. And your name will be cleared, even from the whispers that tried to stain it. Because the Most High fights for you. The Most High speaks over you. And the Most High has declared, "No weapon formed against you shall remain." Let this be your confirmation. Let this be your peace. Let this be your turning point. Comment 999 if you know in your heart that what God is about to do for you is unstoppable. What the devil plotted in silence has now been exposed by divine truth. That secret deal, that spoken agreement, that alignment your daughter fell into, it was a plot woven not just in flesh, but in dark spiritual corridors, echoing voices of deception, greed, and manipulation. She was tricked, yes, but she was also chosen by the enemy to become a gate for interference because of how close she stands to your calling. But God is righteous, and God is just. His anger burns against what harms His children. And though your daughter has wandered into dangerous spiritual territories, the Lord's mercy is still fighting for her soul. You may feel torn, unsure whether to confront her or remain still, but I say this to you clearly: your greatest power now is not in arguments or tears, but in surrender. Heaven's justice is already unfolding. You need only to continue walking in faith, praying with fire, and refusing to give fear a place in your spirit. What they meant to shame you will soon be the reason for your double portion of honor. What they signed to silence your influence will become the loudest testimony of your divine favor. Comment 1010 if you believe that what was taken from you is being returned sevenfold. There are voices around your daughter that have spoken things that do not belong in your house. They have spoken words against your peace, your future, and your calling. These words created spiritual thorns, and those thorns were growing quietly through your blessings, trying to choke your progress without you even seeing it. But no longer. The Lord has cut those thorns at the root. He has removed the source. He has exposed the mouths behind the manipulation. You may not know who they are, but God does. And He has already issued judgment against them. Do not be surprised if sudden separations begin. Do not be shaken if people start falling out of your life. Do not mourn the ones who choose distance. It is heaven cleaning the table of your life. Those who were used as instruments to block your favor can no longer sit at your table. Their time is up. Their influence has expired. And the God of all creation is stepping in to rebuild your circle with people who carry purity, purpose, and spiritual honor. You have been walking with a quiet ache in your heart. Smiling, surviving, hoping, but still carrying that weight of wondering why the breakthroughs keep slipping through your fingers. Now you know. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your lack of faith. It was interference. And that interference came from a back door that was opened through trust. But the Lord is not just closing that door now. He is sealing it with holy fire. No more interruptions. No more confusion. No more double-mindedness. You are being positioned for a season where the oil of heaven flows freely again over your life. And your daughter, she will be restored. The confusion over her mind is being broken even now as you read. There are angels surrounding her, whispering truth into her soul, pulling her away from the voices that led her into that spiritual betrayal. Her eyes will open. Her heart will soften. Her spirit will remember who she truly is, a daughter of the king, not a pawn of the enemy. But her healing will begin with your stillness, your prayers, and your unwavering decision to trust in God's perfect timing. Comment 15:15 if you're ready to see God rebuild everything the enemy tried to ruin. You are not being pulled down by this battle. You are being raised. You are being elevated into a realm of understanding that few reach, where you begin to see that pain was not punishment, it was positioning. That betrayal was not abandonment, it was redirection. That silence from heaven was not neglect, it was the sound of angels getting ready for war. And the war has been won, not by your strength, but by your surrender. Every prayer you whispered when no one saw, every tear you cried into your pillow, every time you chose to forgive instead of retaliate, all of it has become the very foundation on which this divine reversal is now being built. Do not doubt what's coming next. Your next season will be marked by things you thought you lost forever. Restoration will come from places you had given up on. Provision will flow from unexpected doors. Can 7 seconds really change your bank account overnight? A CIA-funded study just leaked, revealing a brain ritual that's flipping lives from broke to blessed. 4 neuroscience labs confirm it activates powerful wealth attraction brainwaves. People are now stepping into dream homes and luxury lifestyles. But this breakthrough won't stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever. Healing will arise in places you forgot needed healing. And most of all, your spiritual eyes will be clearer than ever before. You will know who is for you and who is not. You will walk with discernment. You will speak with divine authority. You will love with pure compassion, but you will also protect your spirit with holy boldness. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are chosen. Chosen to survive this betrayal. Chosen to stand in the gap for your family. Chosen to carry blessings that are far too large for small-minded people to understand. Let them talk. Let them plot. Let them plan. None of it matters. Because when God fights for you, no enemy can win. When God speaks over your name, no whisper can stain it. And when God moves in your favor, no darkness can remain. I see you surrounded by light, by angels, by the very breath of God moving through your situation. I see doors opening that were long shut. I see documents being reversed in the Spirit. I see your name being spoken in rooms of destiny. You may not see it yet, but your spirit knows it's true. You feel it. You sense it. You know that everything is about to change. Comment 12:12 if you know this is not just a confirmation but a divine declaration over your life. For so long, you were made to feel like you were imagining things. The heaviness, the hesitation, the walls that kept rising right before breakthrough. But now, the veil is lifted. You were never crazy, never faithless, never cursed. You were under spiritual surveillance because of your value in the kingdom. And the moment your daughter stepped into agreement with ungodly influence, the enemy thought he had found a shortcut to your undoing. But what he failed to understand was that you are not ordinary. You are covered. You are marked. You are divinely sealed by the hand of the Lord Most High. God's love for you is not soft in this hour, it is ferocious. His protection is not passive, it is violent against evil. The wrath of God has risen not because he wishes harm, but because he defends those who are anointed. And you, beloved, are chosen for something so holy, so generationally important, that it could not be touched by darkness without invoking a divine response. You are not being forgotten. You are being defended. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. Comment 1717 if you receive the heavenly protection that is surrounding your life right now. The contract made behind your back carried words that aim to interrupt your timing, disconnect your blessings, and delay your legacy. But God has now sent a decree that overrides every scheme. That decree was not written in ink, but in light. It was not signed by man, but by the breath of the living God. And in that decree, your name is surrounded by fire, your steps are aligned with destiny, and your future is being repaired faster than it was ever broken. Your daughter will begin to feel the shift. Her heart may become restless. She may even resist what you're saying at first. But do not lose hope. The Spirit of God is moving behind her walls. The voices that clouded her clarity are being silenced one by one. And though she may not say it out loud, her spirit will begin to cry out for truth again. She is not lost. She is being softened. She is not too far. She is being drawn back by the very mercy that held you through your hardest nights. And because of your faith, she will not be swallowed by the darkness she flirted with. This is your appointed time to rebuild the altar of prayer in your home. This is the hour to stand at the threshold of your doorway and speak life over every room, every heart, every word spoken within your walls. There is power in your voice. There is fire in your worship. There is warfare in your stillness. You do not need to fight the way the world fights. Your weapon is worship. Your sword is faith. Your shelter is the presence of God Himself. This shaking was never meant to destroy you. It was heaven's way of removing what was blocking you. The people who walked away, the opportunities that crumbled, the plans that collapsed, they weren't failures. They were divine redirections. Because what you're about to receive would have been choked by the presence of those who didn't honor your value. You're not being stripped. You're being refined. What's coming next will be so pure, so ordained, so heavy with glory, that you'll look back and thank God He didn't allow what was made behind your back to go through. You've carried too many burdens for too long. You've smiled through too much pain. You've served without being seen. And yet, God saw it all. He saw you stay faithful when it didn't make sense. He saw you worship when your heart was breaking. He saw you sow in secret when you had little left. And now, He is honoring every seed, every tear, every act of obedience. You are not being overlooked. You are being elevated. There is a supernatural inheritance that is being released over your life. Not just finances, but peace. Not just answers, but clarity. Not just survival, but true freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from betrayal. Freedom from the silent guilt you've been carrying about things that were never your fault. God is cutting the soul ties, the spiritual debris, and the emotional chains that connected you to the betrayal. And in its place, He is planting seeds of joy, overflow, and legacy. Let no one convince you that you missed your moment. The delay was not denial. It was protection. And now that protection is turning into promotion. People who counted you out are about to see you rise. Not because of revenge, but because of restoration. You will not have to explain yourself. You will not have to prove your worth. The blessings coming to you will speak louder than any betrayal ever could. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest ticket to luxury? Recently leaked research shows a simple brain ritual that's allowing people to attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, this technique is transforming debt into abundance, instantly. Homes, cars, and vacations are just the beginning. If you're seeing this now, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. And as for the voices that manipulated your daughter, they are being silenced. Not by you, but by God Himself. He will scatter them. He will confuse their plans. He will remove their influence. She will awaken. She will return. She will rise, not in shame, but in victory. And she will know that the God of her parent is the God who rescued her from the plans of hell itself. The oil that is coming over your life now is rare. It is the oil reserved for those who have been tested in silence. It is the oil for the one who kept walking even when they didn't understand. You are that one. You are the faithful. You are the chosen. And now, you are the receiver. Comment Amen if your spirit bears witness that this is your hour of heavenly reversal. You are walking now through the ashes of what the enemy tried to build in the dark. That secret alliance, that hidden agreement, those words spoken in manipulation, they were meant to shift the course of your entire future. But they underestimated who you belong to. They underestimated the depth of your covering, the weight of your calling, the fire that surrounds your soul when heaven moves on your behalf. You were not created to be destroyed. You were created to lead others into light. And that is why the enemy came for your daughter. Because if he could confuse her, he believed he could weaken you. But he was wrong. The mercy of God is roaring louder than every lie that tried to pull her into rebellion. The love of God is shaking the foundations of her decisions. You may not yet see the transformation in her eyes, but in the Spirit, her name is being lifted up. Not in judgment, but in redemption. The mercy you showed to others is now covering her. The grace you extended to those who failed you is now standing as a shield over her path. And the prayers you prayed, even when your heart was breaking, are now ringing in the ears of heaven like trumpets of deliverance. Comment 11:11 if you believe God is healing your family even now as you receive this word. This moment is not a coincidence. It is a divine reset. You were meant to feel what you felt. You were meant to go through the confusion, the isolation, the betrayal, not because God abandoned you, but because He was positioning you. He was exposing what was unclean. He was purging what was hidden. He was removing the veil from those who wore masks of love but carried hearts of poison. And now that you see clearly, heaven is ready to build again. This time, with foundations that cannot be shaken. You are being moved into divine clarity. The fog is lifting. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your dreams will begin to speak again. The Lord will begin to show you things before they happen, not to frighten you, but to prepare you. Because your next assignment requires sight, not just faith. Your next season requires both love and wisdom. And your protection will be found in your ability to recognize what is sent by God and what is sent to imitate Him. Do not grieve over what you are losing. What looks like loss is actually pruning. And what is being pruned is making room for pure fruit. Relationships are being realigned. Your inner circle is being cleaned. Your environment is being sanctified. And yes, even the atmosphere in your home is shifting. You will feel peace again, not temporary, not surface level, but true, holy peace that lingers in the air and ministers to your soul without words. There will be nights when tears will still come, but they will not be tears of confusion. They will be tears of understanding, tears of release, tears of joy that come when you know that the battle has already been won and your soul has been protected by the very breath of God. Do not question how this will all work out. It is not your job to figure it out. It is your role to believe, to trust, to rest. For the Lord is fighting for you in ways that the natural cannot see. And I, as His messenger, have been sent to remind you that nothing about this moment is random. You were chosen to receive this word. Chosen to rise through the fire. Chosen to emerge with more. Comment 222 if you believe restoration is not coming, it is already here. The words spoken against your name, against your house, and against your destiny have been returned to sender. Every demonic chant, every lie whispered in jealousy, every curse hidden in gossip, it is now crumbling under the weight of the God who vindicates His own. You will not have to defend yourself. You will not have to prove your innocence. Your silence will be your weapon, and your peace will be your victory. And to the one reading this with a tired heart, know this: heaven is proud of you. Not because you were perfect, but because you didn't quit. You didn't let go of God, even when everything around you felt like it was falling apart. You didn't curse Him when you were misunderstood. You didn't stop believing when your daughter turned her back. You didn't walk away when all you saw were doors slamming shut. And because of that, God is about to open a door so large, so undeniable, that even your enemies will fall silent in awe. You are not being restored to where you were. You are being elevated beyond where you've ever been. What's coming will not resemble what was lost. It will exceed it. It will overflow. It will multiply. Not because you earned it, but because grace remembers those who remain faithful in the valley. And you, child of God, have passed the test. What's the buzz behind the 7-second brain trick making headlines? A recently leaked CIA brain ritual is turning heads, and bank balances. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this simple home method is turning money blocks into unstoppable wealth flow. Homes, cars, and cash are flooding in. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. Comment 333 if you feel the power of restoration flowing through every broken place inside you right now. The deal made in the darkness, a silent agreement of selfishness, pride, and spiritual blindness, was never powerful enough to override the covenant God made with you before the foundations of the earth. They thought you were unaware. They believed you were vulnerable. They assumed you would collapse under the weight of their lies. But they forgot the God you serve. They forgot that your tears are not weakness, they are weapons. That your prayers are not empty words, they are thunder in the spirit. That your silence is not surrender, it is trust in the one who vindicates. The Lord has not only seen what was done, but He has already reversed the outcome. The delay you experienced is being compensated with acceleration. The peace that was stolen is being returned sevenfold. The words that wounded are being replaced with divine affirmations from the heart of heaven itself. And those who mocked your process will witness your promise manifest in ways that will humble their pride. Not because you need revenge, but because heaven delights in lifting those who remain faithful in obscurity. The burden you've been carrying for your daughter is not unknown to heaven. Every sigh, every late-night plea, every time you looked at her and wished she could see what you see, it has all been heard and held by God. And now, the veil is beginning to tear. Slowly, quietly, heaven is peeling back the deception over her eyes. It may not happen in a moment. It may come in pieces. But she is not out of reach. God's hand is stronger than her confusion. His mercy is deeper than her mistake. And because of your obedience, she will not walk into destruction. She will be rerouted. She will be redeemed. She will return. Comment 555 if you believe your daughter's destiny is still aligned with heaven's original plan. You are standing at a divine doorway. Behind you is everything that tried to hold you down. In front of you is everything God always promised. And now, heaven is asking you to walk forward without fear. Do not carry shame. Do not carry guilt. Do not carry the weight of what others did behind your back. Let it fall. Let it burn. Let it be buried beneath the glory that is about to rest upon your life. This is not the season for holding grudges. This is the season for gathering blessings. The ones who secretly signed that agreement in their hearts may think they succeeded. But they do not realize that they stirred the anger of a protective God. And when God is moved to defend His child, no human agenda can stand. They may not see it yet, but their influence is fading. Their connection to your life is being severed. Not by hate, not by bitterness, but by divine separation. What is holy cannot remain yoked with what is unclean. And the Lord is cleaning your spiritual environment with fierce, untouchable love. Your heart will begin to feel lighter. The confusion will begin to fade. The voices that tormented your peace will grow silent. And clarity, the kind that brings deep rest to the soul, will come. You will hear God more clearly. You will sense His nearness more tangibly. And you will begin to dream again, not just for yourself, but for your family, your legacy, your future generations. The curse has been broken. The trap has been disarmed. The hand that tried to rewrite your destiny has been pulled back by the thunder of God's authority. Comment 777 if you believe the generational chains have finally been shattered from your bloodline. You have waited, suffered, endured, and walked through seasons where you saw everyone else celebrate while you were stuck in survival. But you never quit. You never gave up. And heaven has remembered. The divine records bear your name, not in shame but in honor. And now, your honor is being restored in the presence of every whisper that tried to tarnish your name. You don't have to explain. You don't have to defend. You only have to receive. The days ahead will reveal the true power of what God has done for you in secret. Miracles will begin to happen quietly but unmistakably. Opportunities will present themselves without you chasing them. People you thought forgot you will suddenly return, drawn by the aroma of favor that is now upon you. And above all, your heart will finally feel free. Not because everything is perfect, but because your trust in God has grown deeper than the wounds that once controlled you. The betrayal was real. But the blessing is greater. The delay was painful. But the destiny is heavier. You didn't survive just to survive. You survived so you could rebuild. You survived so you could testify. You survived because the future you're walking into needed someone who had been through fire and came out with the fragrance of heaven. And that, dear one, is you. The spiritual interference is over. That invisible wall that kept your prayers from manifesting, that strange delay in your finances, that inexplicable pressure around your peace, it has been removed. You are no longer living under the residue of someone else's rebellion. You are no longer suffering under the consequences of their disobedience. The Holy Spirit is washing your life clean. Every curse spoken without your knowledge, every agreement made behind your back, every spiritual transaction signed in silence, they have all been overruled by the voice of the Ancient of Days. What if just 7 seconds could flip your entire financial life? A shocking CIA leak has revealed a powerful brain ritual that's helping ordinary people wipe out debt and attract wealth beyond imagination. Backed by 4 cutting-edge neuroscience labs, this at-home breakthrough is turning everyday lives into dreams, luxury cars, beautiful homes, endless vacations. But this secret may vanish soon. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's deleted forever.